Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Before I get started, I just want to send a shout out to one of our newest subscribers to our YouTube channel, Lloyd Allen. Thank you very much for subscribing to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. Lloyd Allen, thank you very, very much. KENTA has called out CM Punk. That's nuts. As we know, CM Punk is using the GTS. He stole that from KENTA. He even admits that he stole it from KENTA. KENTA wants CM Punk in the ring one-on-one. CM Punk coming back to AEW. AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, have that partnership. We can very well get the Go to Sleep versus the Go to Sleep. KENTA versus CM Punk. I think that would be a terrific match. This is Fightful.com. Says KENTA's been waiting a long time for this one. As first reported by Fightful Select, CM Punk is in talks with AEW regarding a return to wrestling. That's Fightful.com is not verifying it, but it's been verified on other websites. It says CM Punk has not wrestled since the 2014 Royal Rumble event as he walked out of WWE the following night. It says when CM Punk began to break out as a single superstar in the WWE, he started using the GTS to go to sleep as a finishing maneuver. The move was popularized by KENTA in Japan, and CM Punk has even admitted, as I mentioned, that he stole the move from KENTA. Since then, KENTA has always been less than kind when speaking on CM Punk. And with the new reports that Punk is returning to the ring, KENTA is already calling his shot. KENTA on his Twitter tweets out, "Give me CM Punk." KENTA has also appeared on AEW in the past, attacking Jon Moxley when him and Moxley were feuding over the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. So KENTA has been on AEW before. CM Punk returning to AEW. I'm sorry, not returning to AEW, making his debut for AEW. You know, we could see CM Punk down the road, CM Punk versus KENTA, whether it's in an AEW ring or a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. I think CM Punk wants to wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. And I'm pretty sure that if he wants that in his contract, or if he wanted that in the contract with AEW, AEW will be more than welcome to put that in there. But also New Japan Pro Wrestling, they're also trying to get a foothold in the United States as well with New Japan Pro Wrestling America. They're running shows as well. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, I should say. And they're running shows in the US as well. So maybe CM Punk could meet KENTA on one of those US shows. Or it could happen in Japan, or it could happen in an AEW ring. But I do think it's going to happen. I do think it's eventually going to happen. I'm sure KENTA is on CM Punk's list of opponents that he would like to face. And CM Punk is definitely on the list of opponents that KENTA would like to face, because KENTA here calling him out saying, "Give me CM Punk." So once again, KENTA calling out CM Punk. CM Punk expected to debut at AEW Rampage, the first show. Forgot the name of it, but it's coming up in mid-August in Chicago. So he's expected to debut on that show. Now that show has sold out, and it sold out really fast. That show I think it's called First Dance, actually. And it sold out really quick. The fans were expecting CM Punk. I mean, I was reading during Raw last night. Raw was in Chicago, and the fans were shouting, "CM Punk, CM Punk." The fans want CM Punk back, and they're expecting him to be back at AEW's First Dance in Chicago. And if he doesn't return during that show, the fans are going to be really pissed off. They're going to be very disappointed. But I have a gut feeling, really good feeling. I feel it in my heart that CM Punk will be debuting on that show. I believe it's August 13th, August 13th, 14th, I believe. But if he doesn't debut, like I said, man, the fans are going to be very, very disappointed. But getting back to what I was originally talking about, CM Punk KENTA will be a terrific match. We'll love to see it. And like I said, when CM Punk does debut, and most likely going to be in Chicago when he does debut, what if he debuts in Chicago and KENTA just shows up and takes him right out? That would be amazing. That would be incredible. The fans will go absolutely nuts, but I don't know if it would happen. I think with CM Punk returning, In Chicago, I don't think you want to see him get taken out. I think you want to see him, any battle he might win in Chicago, he's going to have to come out victorious, whether it's hitting a GTS on somebody or whatever, but he would have to be standing with his arm raised. So it wouldn't be a good look for him to be laid out on the first night back in professional wrestling in what, like 7 or 8 years. But I really think down the line we're going to see Kenta against CM Punk, and I think that will be a terrific, terrific match. Two young lions are now going on excursion. New Japan Pro Wrestling Young Lions, Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji. They are graduating. They're going on their excursion. They've been New Japan Pro Wrestling Young Lions for a good part of 2 years now, and they're off on their excursion. I'm not sure exactly where they're going. It could be Mexico, could be England, it could be here in the United States, but not sure where they're going. And I'm thinking this. What if, just what if, Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji, who are going to be absolute superstars for New Japan Pro Wrestling, what if they went to Impact Wrestling for their excursion? Hold on a second before everyone starts throwing their arms up in the air and say, "What are you talking about?" They had Kazuchika Okada, and look what they did with him. Okay, that's fine, but this is their chance to make amends, right? This is their chance to make up for that mistake. I mean, Scott D'Amore is running the show now. This is their chance to say, "Hey, we're sorry about Kazuchika Okada. Give us a chance with Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji." Like I said, if they bring these two guys in, Yota Tsuji, Yuya Uemura, these guys are hungry. These guys want to do well. These guys want to kick ass. And they would be great additions to Impact Wrestling. If they went to Impact Wrestling to learn, and again, it doesn't just have to be Impact Wrestling. There's New Japan Pro Wrestling, the LA Dojo. They could go to the LA Dojo as well. They could show up. They could wrestle on New Japan Pro Wrestling shows here in the States as well, and maybe even a few indie shows. But if Impact Wrestling was one of their destinations or the main destinations for their excursion, I think that would be a huge plus for Impact Wrestling to get these two guys. And even if they get one of them, would be fantastic. Personally, I like Yuya Uemura. I think they're both extremely talented, but I think Yuya Uemura is just a little more talented than Yota Tsuji. I like him a little bit better, but if they get one or if they get both, I think it would be fantastic. I think it would add a new dimension to Impact Wrestling. They would have two studs that are again out to prove themselves, and they've already proved themselves. I mean, their last match for New Japan Pro Wrestling before they head on excursion was against Yuya Uemura took on Kazuchika Okada, and Yota Tsuji took on Tetsuya Naito. Those are the two top stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or among the two top stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. I should say, arguably the two top stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. And they gave both of them fantastic matches. They're hungry. They want to prove themselves. They proved themselves in the last match that they had on the Summer Struggle show against Kazuchika Okada, Tetsuya Naito. They come into Impact Wrestling. Yuya Uemura against Josh Alexander for the X Division Championship would be fantastic. Josh Alexander defending the X Division title against Yota Tsuji would be fantastic. Chris Bay one-on-one with either of them would be fantastic. Eddie Edwards one-on-one with any of them would be fantastic. Ace Austin against any, and we could even put them as a tag team, and they would be instant tag team contenders. Them against the Good Brothers would be just fantastic. Okay, them against Ace Austin, Madman Fulton would be just fantastic. And it would give Impact Wrestling another tag team. Now, I looked online to see if they've decided where they're sending them on excursion. I couldn't find anything. Somebody on Reddit back in early June indicated that they're going to CMLL. I couldn't find any, I couldn't confirm that. So I think it's just some guy on Reddit just talking out of his ass. To be honest, so I don't know if that is in fact true, then good for CMLL, but I couldn't confirm that anywhere. And I looked all over the internet. couldn't find anything I wanted to see where they're going. So some guy on Reddit saying it. I don't think it's true. There was actually a couple of websites in late July were indicating either the US Rev Pro or CMLL. So nothing's been confirmed for CMLL. So if you look online, you'll see the CMLL report on Reddit, but there's nothing's been confirmed. But I would love to see them in Impact Wrestling. I think they would be just fantastic. And if Scott D'Amore is smart, contacts New Japan Pro Wrestling and says, "Look, I know we screwed up with Kazuchika Okada. We're sorry. Give us another opportunity with Yuya Uemura Yota Tsuji. Send them to Impact Wrestling. Let them do their excursion here. And of course, like I said, also let them go work in the New Japan Pro Wrestling LA Dojo with Shibata. Let them work maybe on the Indies as well to build up their in-ring work while they're on excursion. But let them do it in Impact Wrestling. Will it happen? Probably not. Probably not. But this is just I think it'll be a great idea. If anything, it's going to be Rev Pro in England, or they'll probably just come to the LA Dojo and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I would love to see them. Impact Wrestling could really use them. Impact Wrestling getting Yuya Uemura Yota Tsuji would be just absolutely fantastic. I mean, you look at the Great Khan who came back, Tomoyuki Oka, prior to him becoming Great Khan. He was Tomoyuki Oka, went on excursion to England, came back, and he's one of the top stars right now, or he's working his way to being one of the top stars right now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love the character. Same thing is going to happen with Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji. And Tomoyuki Oka, when he went to Rev Pro, became a star. He became Great Khan in Rev Pro in England, and made him into a star. The same thing's going to happen with Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji. And again, Scott D'Amore, I would love to see them in Impact Wrestling. So if you can make it happen, make it happen. But like I said, it's a long shot. It's a long shot, but I would absolutely love to see that happen. And I think they would electrify the fans. I think the fans would love their style. And the Impact Wrestling fans will love them. And they would definitely catapult to the top of the Impact Wrestling roster. Absolutely, without a doubt. I would love to see it. Again, it's a long shot. This is me just as a fan saying I would love to see it. Fingers crossed, but we'll see. We'll see. If it happens, I will be thrilled. I will be so thrilled. But again, unlikely, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to have to end this with a little bit of sad news. And it's tough, like when you're growing up, because I've been watching wrestling since 1978, and it's tough when you see like the guys that you grew up watching passing away, like the great legends of professional wrestling. The Assassin Jody Hamilton unfortunately passed away at the age of 82. And the Assassin was one of the greatest masked wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. One of the greatest wrestlers, and I should say in the history of pro wrestling. He wrestled down in Florida, had a legendary feud with Dusty Rhodes. The Assassin Jody Hamilton could cut just an absolutely fantastic promo. And it's always sad. It's always sad. I used to read about the Assassin in magazines. Again, his feud with Dusty Rhodes, and it's sad when you see that the guys that you grew up watching have passed away. But to the Assassin Jody Hamilton, just want to say rest in peace. Thank you for the memories. I want to offer my condolences to his family during this time, and thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories, Jody Hamilton. I'll always remember them. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, shooting up north. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.